Welcome to the GlobeWest in-resident content series, where we're going to be discussing a series of topics designed to help you navigate your way through our changing interiors landscape. We are here today at the GlobeWest Design Hub.
I know, and it's exciting to be in here as well because we haven't been sort of fully in this space since before COVID.
Well, it's looking really beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
And
it's lovely to be in here. And lovely to
where all
have
the
you.
magic
Thanks for
happens.
coming.
This episode, we're talking about sensory reignition, which is all about expressing yourself through bolder choices. What is sensory reignition all about?
People have become braver with colour over the last few years, and as we're saying that trends have sort of fast-tracked, this ease that people have been able to use colour has increased. People are more willing to paint their walls a different colour and get bold splashes of colour in their homes. So yeah, that's kind of what it means to me. Yeah,
well, we touched a bit before about how making choices is sort of making a statement on your self-expression, and this is kind of what it's all about. Expressing yourself through your colour choices, and you know, even that thing of when people walk into your home and you've had a candle lit and it smells great, immediately you're changing your experience when you walk into that space.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's such an individual thing. That's what we see more of. We're truly individuals, and we want our spaces to be individual, as we would the way we dress. You know, there's been a real shift in that way. There's not just one cookie cutter way of dressing a home. It's very, very specific to the person, and it has to be a reflection of them and what they love.
So on a visual aspect, I know we've chatted before a bit about how you're a bit more pared back and minimalist, and I'm at the way opposite end of the spectrum with maximalism and a lot of colour. But let's start with minimalism first. How do you bring that into your space, and how do you express that through sensory reignition?
I'm probably not a true minimalist, but I am probably a bit more pared back maybe than most people. My excuse is I work with colour all day, so when I get home I just need somewhere that my eyes can rest, and I find it quite calming to be around more of a neutral space. But I'm very much into texture, so I love the layering of warmth, and my space has to feel warm, even if it's not super colourful. But the warm woods and textured weaves, and I like glass and ceramic and all those sort of different layers, but more neutral tones, so they can all sit together quite beautifully. But that being said, this year I have added in a bit of colour. I think we're probably wanting more and more pieces that remind us of places we've been, and have a sense of nostalgia around us. So I've had a few collections that maybe I kept in a cupboard I've pulled out, whether it's glass paperweights that I've collected over the years, or stacks of records and things like that just remind me of people and things. And we're seeing that very much in design, this idea of nostalgia and fabrication.
Yeah, it's a bit of a retro revival happening in materials as well. Yeah,
and it's nice to see these corduroys and jacquard fabrics, as well as the boucle that we're seeing, and then pairing that back with different coloured marbles is really exciting. So it doesn't have to be super colourful, but the textures will create that sensory reignition. And I'm very much into candles, and I sage and I do all that stuff. I really enjoy that. So yeah, that's probably how I live. And what about you? I know you love your art. I know you've got an amazing art wall.
Big art collection, and it's not all very rare art, but I think for me it just starting with one piece, and it just grew from there. And it's just about layering colours and tones. And I think I tend to sort of pick out one colour from an artwork, and then maybe the next one links to that one colour that's in there. So they all sort of connect in a way. It's not about, for me, it's not about clutter and putting more and more and more, but creating moments in the home. You walk in and you have those sort of little visual pops to guide your eye around the place. I think it's key, like if you're using colour, bolder colours in your home, make sure it's not just all the same colour. Otherwise that's just going to be very intense. As you were saying, even if you are playing more neutral colours, go in tones and shades. Look for the complementary things that balance each other. And that's how you just create that balance, and you can still have a maximalist space. So I think Australians have tended to be a little bit shyer when it comes to colours before. And as you're saying, we are getting a bit bolder. What do you think are some really good entry-level sort of ways to bring colour into your space if you're not ready to paint the walls green all over the house?
I think you can add colour in lots of different ways, but I'd say starting in a grounding colour is nice. In a rug, for instance, we're seeing more colour coming through in rugs, and people are more open to that. You know, art, of course, like we've spoken about a lot. It's, you know, to choose colour from a beautiful piece of art that you love and pick nice colours out of that, whether it's a beautiful mustard coloured cushion that relates to something in a piece. I think people are certainly becoming more braver with colour. Even adding an occasional chair is gorgeous to add in that sort of pop in the corner, you know, of something. You might not buy your family sofa in a strong colour, but an occasional chair is very livable.
But even as we were saying before as well, these sort of olives and eucalypts and dusty neutrals, they're becoming the base colours. They're becoming our neutrals, they're the new greys. So you can start to get a full olive sofa and it doesn't feel like you're being really bold.
That's so true. I mean, last year we were talking about how blues were becoming a core colour in our palettes, and greens now have also become that core colour. So you're absolutely right. And they don't feel too jarring to your eye. They don't feel like they're too defining in a space. They feel like they kind of sit well in an interior space and to an exterior space as well, and you've got that beside it too.
So it's not about being as loud as you can be, but it's about being bold with thoughtful choices.
Absolutely, and individual in your choices and choosing things that really resonate to you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we've given you a couple of ideas and inspiration points to take away, and we can't wait to see these design directions used in your space.
Thank you so much for coming, Jono.
Thanks
It's been really fun having you.